What are you actually doing today, Pete?
We're doing the flip side of the single. So this is an attempt to do that. That's the driving part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to finish this fucking thing. Hi Larry.
Hi Pete. How's your project going?
My project, yeah, real good now. The song we just recorded finally, the Cyclone Dawn finally got recorded on it, the third attempt. The first two attempts not quite being right, but this time I did something I didn't expect to do on the drums and it just changed the whole track. You know, like, luckily all my pals that turned up to help me do it, everyone said, wow, that sounds fine just like that. So that's the take. It was only the second take. But it took 4 hours to set up to do it. Not because it took 4 hours to really do it, but because we took 4 hours to do it. But when we finally did it, bang, there it was. So it's like, yes.
What was the difference this time from the other times when you did it, you think?
The space that I did it in that it was like the end of the first school term, 17 days, including Easter, off. That Morris had offered to do this weeks beforehand. You know, so they had a chance to really think about this because we'd already had a couple of guys at it and it was alright, but it had nothing remarkable to the song, and this time it did. This time it did, like I just brought up the levels on the first take and then I just took a swing at it, completely in the mood to take a swing at it.
Did you mic the drums differently than usual this time?
I got to mic them exactly how I wanted to, which was like with Shure 57s and 58s and a really nice Shure kick drum. And basically sort of have the mics fairly a bit off the toms, you know, like a bit away, not right up on them. And just compress the kick and the snare and put a little bit of a gate on it. And it's kind of interesting. Yeah, you can hear the gates, and you can hear it pretty nice. But the drums came out great. Just wow, straight off the top of my head, just got real lucky. So
When you're recording like that, and are you thinking the song in your head and playing along? Is that how you construct it?
yeah. Well, at this point, I had the guitar track down, and I had a guide vocal on that guitar track. It was a double vocal, but it was still just a guide. And we'd had a go, the first time we did it, part of what hasn't worked is I haven't really taken responsibility for it. I kind of tried to get Chris Foreman to take responsibility of it for me because he did the soundtrack for the TV thing that we did. And he gave it a really good go. And we got some of it done there, like I transferred. Well, the first one we did with really lovely mics from the radio station, and it sounded pristine, and he mic'd it beautifully. And I played it really perky and right up there. And after about a week, we both kind of, yeah. So I got my little boombox and sat it on top of my piano at home and played the thing 11 times onto that. And the 7th take was really good, so I was like, that's the take. Took that round to Chris and said, okay, I'm sorry we spent all that time doing this other really nice version, but actually I want to do this little crappy one on the boombox. He was like fine with it. He's like, yeah, I can really like that one. So we copied it back over and we added drums to it at his place. But he'd only just got his drum room set up and the drums weren't quite right for me. And I played it really, really, really straightforwardly and nothing remarkable happened with it. And then Morris offered me the chance to come and do this on the Easter break, and it's the very first day. And like I said, we spent 4 hours basically arriving, setting up, chilling out, getting up to the right kind of vibe to do it. And then it only took, I think, 25 minutes. I did a tape, I wound it back about a adjusted the volume. I thought, okay, it's really kind of walked around the side, moved the steam mic a little bit, came back to it.
What's the song about?
Oh,
Or even different questions?
they all seem to be about me, unfortunately. I think they're about things, but they all end up being about me.
About your lifelong journey and experiences you've had?
I don't know, just about the way you are at certain times over certain things. Yeah, that's a good song to have got done. Glad it's behind me. Didn't hang around too
Did you
long.
play guitar on it too?
Yeah, unbelievable. I would have thought, like, if I leave it like it is, because at one point I was planning to get Robert Greenfield's bass on it, and I really thought that would fit, and I thought it was going to have cymbals and shit on it, and so it's Al's got my cymbals, and I just go and get them, and I just did a take without them. I think it's actually worked out better than it didn't play. It's just something happened. It just fucking wiggles its little booty, you know. It's like, wow, sure, I didn't expect that. So yeah, I think that's the reason. I just have to sing the lead vocal. There's 2 tracks left, and if I don't go reducing it or interfering with it, it's all the spaces. The fact the hi-hat and the cymbals aren't actually filling up all the spaces, and the sound of the guitar recorded on the little boombox, and then Chris like remastering it in the studio and kind of really making it solid. Like it took 4 tracks of drums, no sweat, like right up there. So thank you for that. He definitely gave it a bit of studio and handed it back to me. And then just bang, then just this magic setting to do it, and all of a sudden, I'm like, shit, that's all it really means. Just sing that, just sing to that, and maybe 1 or 2 little things you've got. Maybe just do it. Don't fucking fill it all in. Actually, like, it's a good thing you didn't have the cymbals. That's part of it. You didn't have the cymbals. Probably haven't done one like that before. Different drumline to anyone I've ever
It's an
played.
interesting
Don't think I've
notion.
done it without my cymbals normally. I've got them normally. I play them. Not on that one. Cool. But I wouldn't mind doing a few little washes or something. Maybe I won't do anything else. If I start freaking around with it and feel like I'm fucking it up, then I'm just